the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain, coming round the mountain, coming round the mountain when she comes. Singing I, yippee, yippee, I. Singing I, yippee, yippee, I. Singing I, yippee, 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 I. And we'll all go out to meet her when she comes. Yee-haw! And we'll all go out to meet her when she comes. And we'll all go out to meet her. All go out to meet her. All go out to meet her when she comes. Singing I, yippee, yippee, I. Singing I, yippee, yippee, I. Singing I, yippee, 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 I. She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be driving 6 white horses, driving 6 white horses, driving 6 white horses when she comes. Singing I, yippee, yippee, I. Singing I, yippee, yippee, I. Yeehaw! Singing I, yippee, 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 I. And we'll all have chicken and dumpling when she comes. And we'll all have chicken and dumpling when she comes. And we'll all have chicken and dumplings. All have chicken and dumplings. All have chicken and dumplings when she comes. Singing I, yippee, yippee, I. Yeehaw! Singing I, yippee, yippee, I. Singing I, yippee, 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 I. One more time. Singing I, yippee, yippee, I. Singing I, yippee, yippee, I. Yeehaw! Singing I, yippee, 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 I.
Hello everyone! Hi, it's my story time now. It's a bit strange. You might wonder where I am. I've had to find a little spot and I'm kind of hidden away upstairs and you're in your classroom and I'm hiding up in the mezzanine and I'm sat on the floor. But I've got some really great stories today and it's weird because every story I pick up, most of them, they've all got something to do with like making things or inventing things. And I thought this was a really creative story today. It's called Norman the Slug with the Silly Shell. Although I'm looking at his shell and I'm thinking it's not so silly. Let's get all hungry for lunchtime. And this book is by a lady called Sue Hendra, and she also wrote the Barry the Fish with Fingers books, which you might have at home. Some of you might have this one. So let's find out about Norman. Norman the Slug thought snails were just great. Wow, look at them. They're amazing. Or as Mrs. Smith might say, shamazing. Look at them all. I think he's thinking, if I were a snail, I'd get one of those very cool looking shells. But unfortunately, the snails didn't think Norman was great. Whee! Crash! Oh dear. Look, he's knocked them over because he wanted to join in. And that's quite dangerous for a snail because their shells are very fragile. Norman, you silly slug, they cried. You've spoilt our fun. This only works if you've got a shell. Norman felt left out. Sadly, he skulked off into the moonlight. Oh, look, those of you in year 4, I spy a fronted adverbial phrase. Sadly, comma, he skulked off. That's such a good word, skulked. Skulked. Oh, look. If only I had a shell of my own, he sighed, looking at his reflection. And that's when he had an idea. Maybe I could have a shell after all. You see, we find inspiration in the most strangest of places. Look at the moon. That's given him an idea. Finding a shell was not as easy as it seemed. So you need something round and you've got to attach it. So let's try, a tennis ball. Too bouncy. Doing, doing, doing. Ah, that one was too noisy. Oh, this home was already taken. Someone's already living in that shell. And this one, down the bottom, Norman needed time to think. I need something that's not going to be taken. It's not going to be bouncy or too noisy. Aha! Ta-da! A shell! Oh, I love it. It was perfect. Norman had never been happier. He could join the snails at last. Norman, I think that's a genius find. Although I'd find it a struggle not to eat it. Norman just loved being a snail. Oh, look. You can join in. And the snails loved Norman's silly shell. Although I don't think it's silly. I'm a bit sad about Norman, though, because I know he looks at their shells and thinks, oh, wow, I'd like to be one of those. But does Norman really need to change? He should be proud of him being a slug and not try to be somebody else. But anyway, I like his creative thinking. The fun didn't last for long. Uh-oh, shocked faces. Dun, dun, dun. Suddenly, there was a loud flapping of wings. Look out! A bird! Cried the snails in panic. Quick! Slither for your lives, or we'll end up as supper. Supper is another word for dinner. And I think that bird has his eye on them. But the bird was more interested in Norman's silly shell. It looked delicious. Oh no, poor Norman! Ah! Norman was being carried up, up and away, higher and higher into the sky. What could he do? Come on, Norman. Use your learning powers. Think, what skills do I already have that's going to help me in this situation? Aha, clever Norman. Norman did the only thing a slug could do. He made slime, and lots of it. Clever, clever boy, Norman. Because he knew that it was slippery. With a slither and a slother, a slip and a slide, Norman was free! Hooray! But he was falling faster and faster and faster until... Oh, hang on a minute. Here's a science question for you to think about. Why is the donut shell falling down faster than Norman? See if you can find that out. Plonk! Oh, where has he landed? There he is. Oh, look. You see? Where has his shell landed? Oh, there. It's made a hat now. Norman, are you okay? Asked the snails. Wow, said Norman. That was great. I love flying. If only I had wings. Do you know, it's a good job it was Norman, a slug, and not one of the other snails. Why do you think? What could have been quite dangerous for the snail falling from such a height? Yeah, that's right. It might have smashed its shell. And Norman, because he's a wiggly slug, he's landed nicely on there and he's not hurt himself. But he now wants to fly and have wings. I wonder what he could use. He's so clever at looking at things around him that might help him. Ta-da! I love it. He's utilised a pair of pants from the washing line so that he can soar in the sky with the other birds. Wow. Norman is really clever, I think, because he used his learning powers. And yes, I know he wanted to try out being other creatures, but hopefully he was happy just being him in the end. Now, I've got one more story for you. These stories, by the way, you'll find them as an accelerated reader in the library. This, the Slug with the Silly Shell, was a 1.9. So if you're 1.9, you might like to take that. And this one is called Leon and Bob. It's a completely different story. This one's to do with friends and feeling lonely. And it's written by an author called Simon James. And this is also an accelerated reader book of 1.9. So if you like this one, when you come to choose, you can have a look for it. Leon and Bob. This one some of you might think, oh, I felt like that before. So, Leon had moved into town with his mum. His dad was away in the army. Leon shared his room with his new friend, Bob. Hang on, I can't see a Bob. Can you? Yes, there's Leon getting dressed in his room, his new room with the sunlight coming in. But I can't see Bob anywhere. But apparently he shares his room with Bob. Ah, well, there he is brushing his teeth. No one else could see Bob, but Leon knew he was there. Leon always laid a place for Bob at the table. More milk, Bob, Leon said. Ah, so Leon has got an imaginary friend called Bob. I wonder why he's got an imaginary friend. Do you think it's because he's lonely and he's in a new place? Maybe he hasn't got any friends or brothers or sisters, so he's made up a friend. Maybe Bob is an imaginary friend to help him feel brave in his new house. Sometimes Leon's mum couldn't take him to school, but Leon didn't mind. He always walked to school with Bob, and he always had Bob to talk to. See, he's walking to school with his imaginary friend Bob, and he can chat away to him. And you know, maybe Bob is making him feel brave because he's on his own walking to school. Wonder if anyone else has got an imaginary friend. I used to have one when I was younger. I'll tell you her name later. Often when Leon got home, there was a letter waiting for him from his dad. Bob liked to hear Leon read it over and over again. Oh, so he shares his special letter from his dad, who's away in the army, and he reads it to his friend Bob over and over and over again, because Bob loves to hear it. Do you know, and real friends are really good at listening to you, especially if you're feeling a bit sad or lonely. You can tell your best friend everything. One Saturday, Leon heard some noises in the street below. He saw a new family moving in next door. A boy looked up at Leon and waved. Leon waved back. Hi. Oh. Maybe he might make a new friend after all. That night, Leon kept thinking about the boy next door. I really want a friend, but I'm not sure if I'm brave enough to go and make a new friend. So he decided to go round there the next morning. But you're going to have to come with me, Bob, okay? So I'm a bit scared. He's telling Bob. Bob's in the chair next to him. So Bob's going to help him to feel brave. He can do it. He can go and make a new friend in his new town. The next day, Leon and Bob ate their breakfast very quickly. Then Leon grabbed his ball and rushed outside. I'm so proud of Leon being brave, because he's desperate to go and make a new friend. And if you want to make a new friend, then you've got to go and try. So well done to Leon. He's going and having a go. Leon ran up the steps of the next door's house. He was about halfway up when suddenly he realised, oh no, Bob wasn't there anymore. Oh, now he's got to decide. Come on, Leon. Can I be brave and go up and knock on that door and try and make a new friend without Bob, or do I need to go home? What should he do? I think he should just be brave and go for it. Leon sat down. He was all alone. He could ring the bell, or he could go home. Oh, why wasn't Bob there to help him? I think Bob's saying in his head, you can do this, Leon. Be brave. You can make that friend, because the other boy might be too shy. Look, do you think he's going to knock or ring the bell? I hope so. Come on, Leon, you can do it. Don't give up. Leon rang the bell. Ding dong, and waited. The door opened. Hello, said the boy. Hello, said Leon. Would you like to go to the park? Wow, he was so brave. Look. He sounded a bit scared when he said hello, but he did it. And that's such a nice thing to do as well, making the new boy and the new neighbour feel welcome. Okay, said the boy. I'm just going to the park, Mum, he called. Together, Leon and the boy walked down the steps towards the street. My name's Leon, said Leon. What's your name? Oh, look. They both got happy faces. They look the same age, don't they? And they've started their conversation by introducing each other. Oh, you won't believe this. Look, he's put his hand out to shake hands and he said, remember Leon said, what's your name? Bob, said Bob. Look, his new friend from next door is called Bob. What a coincidence. And look at the very last picture. Look, that bravery paid off. Because now Leon is not lonely anymore. He's got a friend to play with. And all because he was so super brave to go and make that decision. Sometimes we can have an imaginary friend because we feel a bit sad or a bit lonely, and it's nice to have someone to talk to or to play with at home. And that's okay. I used to have an imaginary friend called Polly. Yep. And before my little sister was born, it was just me and I had no one to play with. So Polly used to play with me and my toys in my bedroom. And she used to come out with me whenever I went anywhere. I would always bring Polly with me. She'd be in the car or on a scooter. And it was great fun. And you can have an imaginary friend too. And that's absolutely fine. But if you're feeling a little bit scared or need to be brave to make a friend, because you want to make a friend, then even though that feeling in your tummy is a little bit nervous, like when year fours are going to go to a new school and they might meet new friends, they've got to be really brave and say, I know I'm scared, but I'm just going to try and I'm going to say hello to someone and ask them what their name is. And then you can say, would you like to join in with my game? And it's as easy as that. And of course, if you struggle to make some friends, then please find an adult to help you, because we're always happy to help you find a friend if you're lonely. Now, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll look forward to story time next week. Let's see.
I'm Archie, the inventor. I know how things are done. I can make absolutely anything. Inventing things is fun. I'm always